Imagine nature as we know it, right? Umhlaba nje, as we know it. And let's say the only predator in this nature is a pubis, a lion, right? Nature creates itself, and within nature there is lions. And amapubis lawa, they behave like we know lions to behave, right? The typical lions, so-called king of the jungle, number one apex, plus anxiety. In this imagination nature, there's no other predator but the lion, right? So these lions are roaming free, having a jaw, right? Then nature decides there is still room for improvement or evolution. So it, within itself, it creates lions that do not behave like these typical lions that we know. These lions do not need to hunt. These lions do not need to eat. And these lions, instead of being feared by the rest of the animal kingdom, these animals are venerated and loved by the animal kingdom, right? And then these new lions that don't even need to eat, that nature has created now, these lions happen to have the ability to actually improve nature, because nature created them because there was space or a need for evolution, right? So these lions come forth with abilities to actually improve nature. Then these old lions, or these lions that were created in the normal lion nature that we know, that animal nature, then they become jealous of these new lions, right? Because they still need to hunt, they still need to eat, they still need these animals in the animal kingdom to fear them, for them to remain being the lions that they've always known themselves to be. And these new lions now, they are changing the script, right? So these old lions then start to plot against these newly created, newly evolved lions, so to speak. Then there is a war between these two lions within this imagination universe or space we call nature, right? And as this happens, these new evolved lions have compassion, right? Because they are different from these other lions that depend on fear to exist. These ones do not depend on anything. They have compassion, so to speak, right? So they start having a hard time just dealing with these brothers of theirs or sisters of theirs, the other lions. So they start to hold back at attacking their brethren, right? Because they have compassion. And by so doing, start to disconnect from their true essence, because now they're not acting as how they were created, because now there are restrictions to their movements or actions, because they feel like they can't obliterate their fellow brethren, right? So meaning these newly evolved lions start to devolve now by becoming less of themselves. And these old lions don't stop. They continue because they want to return to being the apex in this space, in this universe. And as this happens, and these latter lions, or the evolved lions, continue to restrain themselves, trying to fit into this new narrative that these old lions are trying to create, they continue to devolve and devolve until they're at the same level as these lions, the original lions that were born a lower state of consciousness, so to speak. And as this happens, the old lions come up with a plan, with Yazin. Since now we are acting like we are all cool, they have forgotten that we are actually enemies, and their natural state is beyond ours. Let's create scapegoats, so to speak, so that if ever it happens that any of the new lions ever comes into the consciousness of who they really are, we can quickly point at these scapegoats so that they don't come and attack us, right? Because if they remember everything that you've done to them to get them where they are right now, they might obliterate us this time around. Then they create your cats, your tigers, and your cheetahs, whatever, and every other predator, so to speak, And every time during the ages when a descendant or an ancestor or an offspring of these lions that were actually created by nature at an evolved state, whenever they come to their consciousness, they start to question their surroundings, that they feel powerless, whereby there's something within them that tells them that they are actually more powerful. Then these old so-called lions can say, there's your enemy right there, and tell them of all the things that these tigers and cheetahs and other predators did, where else it was actually them that did it. And then when this awakened so-called lion starts to attack or look at these new creations as its enemy, then the cycle continues, because it can't go back to realizing that the true enemy is this other lion that looks exactly like me. It looks like me, but we are not the same. This analogy is what's going on with so-called black people. And before kubangati banga impi, you should understand that in this analogy, this new lion or evolved lion that nature created, it is actually created by the very same so-called devolved lion, because nature is that lion, right? The devolved lion. For nature created that devolved lion, or that lower state, lower consciousness lion. Nature is that lower consciousness lion in the same sense that it is that higher consciousness lion. So that higher consciousness lion was the same old lion that is yet to evolve, right? Coming to itself, to show itself or to experience with itself the possibilities of it at a higher level of consciousness, because at that point nature or itself, that lion needed to evolve. That original lion at that moment, it needed to evolve itself to go to higher planes, right? So it created a manifestation of itself, which was these new evolved lions, so that it can have this experience and then tap into that part of itself and then evolve, and then nature evolves as one. So unfortunately, with us so-called black people, we are failing to recognize Uguti. Even this lower state is ourselves, is who we are. This animalistic shit, so to speak, it also is us. But also these things that we know, or histories or truths or whatever that we know about our greatness, that too also is us. So the issue is us being able to recognize Uguti. Evil did not come out of nowhere into existence, versus it must have been, or it was always part of existence itself. So we need to transcend it. I don't think evil is the opposite of good. I don't believe in duality in the sense of how we are taught it. I don't believe duality exists, especially in the sense in how we are taught it. So I wouldn't say evil is the opposite of good. So if creation existed before in a good sense, so it needs to also exist in an evil sense. Those are opposites, that they should always coexist, so to speak. It existed, always existed, but now it is time for us to transcend it, because I feel like we are always continuing this loop, especially based on the fact that as if the real enemy is umuntu onsundu, just like us, because that will say the real enemy is you.